A young man stands in the center of a wooden floor, shirtless, muscles defined like carved marble. He is 26 years old. He weighs 190 pounds. His body is the result of 10,000 hours of training. Across from him stands an old man, 65 years old, 125 pounds. Thin arms, grey hair. The old man wears a simple white uniform. He looks like he could be blown over by wind, but his eyes are calm. And when he moves his hands, the young man cannot see them move. That is the problem. Hong Kong, March 1986. The city rises vertical, buildings stacked on buildings. Neon signs in Chinese characters covering every surface. Streets so narrow 2 people must turn sideways to pass. The air smells like street food, incense, and the harbor. Humidity so thick you can feel it on your skin within seconds of stepping outside. This is not Europe. This is not America. This is a place where old men still teach kung fu in studios above noodle shops and no one thinks it is strange. Jean-Claude Van Damme has been in Hong Kong for 2 weeks. He came here for a reason. Before Hollywood, before movies, before fame. He came because Bruce Lee came from here. Because every martial artist who wants to understand where the real knowledge lives eventually comes to Hong Kong. He has been visiting schools, meeting masters, watching how they train, trying to understand what made Bruce Lee different from every other martial artist who ever lived. Most of the schools are modern, sport-focused, students wearing colored belts and competing in tournaments. Van Damme understands this world. He competed for years, but he is looking for something else. Something older. Something that does not exist in Belgium, where he learned to fight. He is looking for the source. A friend of a friend gives him an address, 4th floor, above a pharmacy, in Kowloon near the old walled city that no longer exists, but everyone still remembers. The sign on the door is in Chinese characters. He cannot read. He knocks. An old woman answers. She looks at him, studies him, then gestures for him to enter. Inside is a single large room, wooden floor, worn smooth from decades of feet. White walls with faded scrolls covered in calligraphy. 3 wooden training dummies, the Wing Chun kind, shaped like people, but made from wood, with arms extending at specific angles. 5 students sitting against one wall, all Chinese, all young, all watching him enter, with neutral expressions that reveal nothing. At the far end of the room stands the old man, Master Wong. He does not look impressive, not tall, not muscular, not intimidating in any physical way, just an old Chinese man in a white uniform. But when he moves toward Van Damme, there is something in the way he walks, something that suggests control, economy, purpose. Master Wong looks at Van Damme, up and down, taking in the muscles, the size, the obvious physicality. He says something in Cantonese. One of the students translates. Master Wong says, "You look very strong, like a weightlifter. Do you lift weights?" Van Damme says, "Yes, I train every day. Weights, running, stretching, fighting techniques. I compete in kickboxing, full contact. I have never lost." The student translates. Master Wong listens, then responds. The student translates back. Master Wong says, "Westerners always build muscle first. You think size equals power. You think strength wins fights. But in real kung fu, strength is the slave of speed and technique. Big muscles are slow. Slow is dead." Van Damme feels his jaw tighten. He did not come here to be insulted. He says, "I am not slow. I have knocked out many opponents. Speed and power together." Master Wong smiles slightly, not mocking, just knowing. He says something. The student translates. Master Wong says, "Perhaps you are fast for a big man, but fast for a big man is still slow for a small man who understands real speed. Would you like to test this?" Van Damme should recognize the trap, but his pride does not let him. He says, "Yes, I would like to test this." Master Wong gestures to the center of the room. The 5 students shift position slightly, creating space, creating a circle. Van Damme walks to the center. Master Wong follows. They stand facing each other. The physical contrast is absurd. Van Damme towers over Master Wong, outweighs him by 65 pounds, has arms twice as thick, has legs that could break boards. Master Wong looks like someone's grandfather, fragile, breakable. Master Wong says through the translator, "We will not fight. We will simply test speed. I will try to touch you 5 times. Light touch. No damage. You will try to stop me or move away. Use any technique you know, any defense. Ready?" Van Damme nods. He has trained for years. He has reflexes honed by hundreds of sparring sessions. He has been hit by heavy punches and learned to see shots coming. This old man might have technique, but Van Damme has youth and training. This will be easy. Master Wong does not take a fighting stance. He just stands naturally, hands at his sides, weight even. He looks at Van Damme and says one word, "Begin." Van Damme raises his hands, sets his stance, ready to react. He watches Master Wong's hands, watches his shoulders, watches his hips, looking for the telegraph, the preparation, the signal that movement is coming. Master Wong's hand moves. Van Damme sees it move, but his brain cannot process the speed. The hand appears at Van Damme's chest, light touch, 2 fingers, right on the sternum. Then the hand is back at Master Wong's side. Van Damme did not block, did not move, did not react. His reflexes, which have saved him in dozens of fights, did nothing, because his reflexes work on normal human speed. Master Wong's hand moved faster than Van Damme's nervous system could respond. Van Damme resets. This time he will be ready. He watches even more intently. Master Wong's hand moves again. This time Van Damme sees it coming. He starts to block. His arm is moving, but Master Wong's hand is already touching his neck. Light touch, then gone. Van Damme's block finishes its motion, blocking air, empty space where the hand was a fraction of a second ago. 3 more times Master Wong touches Van Damme, shoulder, ribs, face. Each time Van Damme tries to defend. Each time his defense is late, not slow, just late. The difference between normal fast and true fast. The difference between competition speed and combat speed. The difference between what works against other big strong fighters and what works against someone who has refined speed into an invisible weapon. 45 seconds from begin to the 5th touch. Van Damme stands there, breathing hard, not from exertion, from frustration, from the sudden understanding that his years of training have a blind spot, a massive blind spot. He trained to fight people his size, his speed, his style. He never trained for this, for speed that moves faster than perception. Master Wong lowers his hands. He says something. The student translates. Size and strength are gifts, but they make you lazy. You rely on them. You think because you are bigger and stronger than most men, you will win. Against most men, you will, but against someone who understands real speed, your size is irrelevant. Speed beats strength, always, no exceptions. Van Damme asks, "How?" Master Wong says through the translator, "You telegraph everything. Your body announces every movement before it happens. You shift weight, you tense muscles, you turn hips. Your body screams what you are about to do. I do not wait to see the punch. I see the preparation. I move before you move. That is invisible fighting. Not being fast, being early, moving before the opponent knows they are going to move." Van Damme says, "Can you teach me?" Master Wong looks at him for a long time, evaluating, then says something. The translator says, Master Wong asks, "Why you want to learn? You are already successful fighter. Why do you need this?" Van Damme thinks carefully, then says, "Because I want to be more than successful. I want to be complete. I know I have limitations. I did not know what they were until today. Now I know. Speed. Real speed. I need that. Master Wong nods slowly, then says something longer. The translator says, most fighters have too much ego to admit limitations. You admitted yours. That is the first requirement of learning. Master Wong says he will teach you, but you must train his way, not your way. You must forget kickboxing for now. Forget competitions. Forget everything except the one thing you do not have. Can you do that? Van Damme says, yes. For the next 3 months, Van Damme trains with Master Wong 5 days per week. 2 hours per session, not fighting, just speed, just hand techniques, Wing Chun chain punches, straight blasts, centerline theory, economy of motion, learning to move without telegraphing, learning to strike without preparing, learning to be early instead of fast, learning that true speed is invisible because it happens before the opponent's brain registers threat. The training is humiliating. Van Damme, who knocked out opponents in competition, cannot hit Master Wong even once. Not in 3 months. Not once. Master Wong is 65 years old, with grey hair and thin arms, and he makes Van Damme look like a beginner. Like someone who just walked into a martial arts school for the first time. Because in the world of invisible speed, Van Damme is a beginner. But slowly, something changes. Van Damme's hands start moving differently. Not bigger motions, smaller, more efficient, less telegraphing. His brain starts recognizing preparation signals in opponents, seeing the weight shift before the punch, the hip turn before the kick, the shoulder tension before the grab. He starts moving early, intercepting before techniques fully develop. Not blocking, interrupting, stopping attacks at their source. In June 1986, Van Damme leaves Hong Kong. He never speaks publicly about Master Wong, never mentions the 3 months in Kowloon, never explains where he learned certain techniques. In interviews he talks about his kickboxing background, his training in Belgium, his love of Bruce Lee's philosophy. But he never mentions the old man who taught him that strength is the slave of speed. 2 years later, Van Damme stars in Bloodsport. The movie makes him famous. People notice his speed. Martial artists watch his hand techniques and wonder where he learned that. It does not look like kickboxing. It looks like something else, something refined, something invisible. More movies follow. Kickboxer, Lionheart, Universal Soldier. Van Damme becomes one of the biggest action stars in the world. But if you watch carefully, you see the influence, the chain punches, the centerline attacks, the way he strikes without pulling back, the way his hands seem to appear on target without traveling the distance. All of it traces back to 45 seconds in Hong Kong, when an old man touched him 5 times and he could not defend once. In a rare interview in 1994, a journalist asks Van Damme about his speed. Where did you learn to move your hands so fast? Van Damme thinks for a moment, then says, I met a teacher once, who showed me that speed is not about moving fast. It is about moving early. Most people do not understand the difference. Speed that can be seen can be blocked. Speed that cannot be seen cannot be stopped. That teacher changed everything for me. The journalist asks who the teacher was. Van Damme smiles and says, some teachers do not want recognition. They just want students to learn. I learned. That is enough. Master Wong continues teaching in Hong Kong until 1998. Then he retires. The school closes. The students scatter to other schools. Some open their own schools. Some stop training. The old building above the pharmacy is converted to apartments. No sign remains that one of the greatest Wing Chun masters of his generation taught there for 40 years. But the knowledge continues. In Van Damme's movies, in the students Master Wong taught, in the understanding that real speed is invisible. That size without speed is just weight. That power without technique is just noise. That 45 seconds can teach more than 40 years, if you are humble enough to learn from someone who looks nothing like what you expected a master to be. Van Damme learned that lesson. An old man who weighed 125 pounds taught a champion who weighed 190 pounds that strength is the slave of speed, and that speed is the slave of timing, and that timing is the slave of understanding. And understanding only comes when ego dies long enough to let knowledge enter. 45 seconds, 5 touches, 0 defenses. One lesson that changed everything. That is what happened when Van Damme met the oldest master and learned that Westerners only know strength because no one taught them that strength is not enough.